ABSD measures, there's a few of my clients call me up and ask me about in their keen interest of buying a property under trust. So for that, I did a return on investment slides for them and with a calculation to help them know what is a better product. Hi, I'm James Lim, founder of the Property Plus system, and today I shall be sharing about how I use my slides for the return on investment to help my client calculate what type of property is a better form of investment for them and how I can go through this calculation process. So when we want to talk about the return on investment, there will be four things that I'll be looking at for them. Number one will be the cost breakdown. Number two, we will be talking about the rental return. Number three, we will be also talking about the capital appreciation. And lastly, we will be talking about the potential profit over the next few years. So first of all, let's have a baseline in which how we talk about the rental that we'll be expecting. Now in Singapore market, looking at the 99 leasehold property, we will expect a rental yield of 3%. So when we were to look at the property that time, what we will do is that we will work backwards. What I mean by work backwards is that we have a formula that is the rent times 12 divided by the capital will give you the rental yield. And if we were to put this rental yield at 3%, looking at the 1 million property and working backwards out, we will expect the expected rental to be 2,500. So for example, when a client asks me that their property is worth 1 million and asks me how much should they be renting for, I will say that yes, it depends on the market conditions, but more or less we will be expecting a 2,500 rental, which will give you a 3% rental yield. So this client who is buying property under trust, he knows that when he buys a property under trust, he has to pay full cash. So let's assume that he's buying a 1 million property and he wants to buy it with full cash, and he has two choices. Right now he has two, and one of them is actually a BUC project or building under construction that is actually something new. On the other hand, he's looking at a resale property and he asked me what is the difference when we come to about payment breakdown. So I have it for him. On the left hand side is what we call a BUC project, and you do not pay straight away a one lump sum of $1 million. You actually pay as it progresses, and you can see that the payment progress for per month, how much will it be. So I actually calculate for him, like for example, the first year he has to pay around 400,000, second year you pay 200,000, third year before TOP he pay 2,500, and he has a 1 year period where it is the completion where he will pay another 1,500. On the other hand, when we talk about a resale project, straight away the first 3 months you will have to pay up the full $1 million. Okay, so why is building under construction better? Now because you pay progressively, which means you do not, number one is you do not need to have a full lump sum of $1 million that you pay off. Number two is that if we were to take, even so you have $1 million and for the first year you put $400,000 inside the payment, you have an outstanding of 600,000 where you can actually do other form of investment and it will still give you a much better return. So in this example, I would say that the progressive payment is still better because you do not pay one lump sum, you pay partially while you use the partial amount for other form of investment. Now next we will be talking about the rental return. So from the rental return, you can see on the left hand side is actually a project that I actually recommend to him, and on the right hand side is actually a resale project that is actually he's looking at. So first of all, we set a baseline on my first slide was that the expected rental for 1 million property is around 2,500. So this is the thing that you can actually key inside. Next, we actually calculate your expenses. So basically, if we look at expenses, there are three expenses. Number one will be the maintenance fee. The second one will be the property tax, and of course the third of all will be the bank interest. So because my client is actually buying through trust, therefore he's not taking any bank loan, and therefore there is no interest located over here. However, if you are actually buying your first property, you can add in one more component, that is the interest. Next, we actually calculate your profit, and how we calculate for your profit per month is actually you take your income minus of your expenses, that will give you your profit. And next will be your capital outlay, or how much money you actually put it down. So therefore your capital outlay divided by your your profit divided by capital outlay, you can actually find out what is your rental yield. So now in this example, what I did was that I actually calculate upon TOP, that was the initial amount that you need. Okay, so you will notice that although these two properties is worth 1 million and cost the same, however, on my left hand side, you will see that the rental yield is actually higher because I use a lower capital outlay. Why I use a lower capital outlay was because on the left hand side, which is a BUC, you do not pay upfront a $1 million. Okay, you actually pay out you actually do a progressive payment. So therefore, especially on your first year, you pay up to 85%. So the last 15% you do not pay off at all, and that is why there's a difference between the 874 and the 1.024 million. Next, we will also be talking about the capital appreciation. So for the capital appreciation, I will actually tell my clients that I actually play something that is very, very safe. I actually gave him two scenarios. Okay, so on my left hand side, the scenario one, where a very safe scenario is that I only take a 2% gain per year. Okay, now as you know that on my previous video, if you were to look at the past 2 years since 2020 to 2021, the total amount that a property increased was actually 14%. Okay, so I actually use a very safe number that is a 2% return per year. So a 2% return per year basically for over a 1 million property is that the growth is only 20,000 per year. Okay, minus off the expenses of 30,000, and this 30,000 basically comes from the maintenance fee and the property tax. Okay, so therefore the return of equity, okay, which is 70,000, okay, because basically it's your total income minus off your expenses divided by how much money you put down, which is 250,000, okay, which it gives you a 28%. Now why I put here 250,000 and 1/4 of it is because for this example, I use this person's capital gain as he's taking a 75% loan. Okay, not for my client, but example in which he's taking a 75% loan. Okay, and for scenario 2, instead of putting a 2%, I put a 2.5%, a more positive outlook return that is 25,000 per year. So therefore, if you minus off that time, you will actually earn a 38% return of equity. So the question why I do this slide was actually on more important of my fold of the growth. So the growth, if you were to take as a 1 million property earning 20,000 per year, I would like to ask you this question, or I would like to ask to my client is this number reasonable? Does this number look sensible to you? Am I putting it too high of a profit gain of earning 20,000 over 1 year? No, I don't think so. So I feel that these are very, very safe number. And looking at this client who is actually, if you were to take a 75% bank loan and you can earn 28 to 38% of profit of return on investment, I think it is actually a pretty good form of investment as compared to other forms of investment. Now the reason why you can earn such a high return equity is just because that property you can use as a form of leverage, and that is why property is my first love for investment. It is my main, what I call the bread and butter or the fundamentals that I have for my investment. So again, the second slide I'd like to show you is about this project that I actually recommend to my client. I'm not going to say what project that we are actually looking at, but I actually show it to him is that there are two projects. One is the orange color that he's actually looking at, that is a resale, and you can see that this property has been flat since 2013, flat all the way. Okay, while on the other hand, that this project that I actually recommend him beforehand, was actually earning since 2019. It has actually jumped up pretty significantly from close to 1,400 to up to 1,500. So over a period of 2 years, he has already earned 100 PSF already. So let's look at this potential profit. Okay, next we look at the potential profit. So first of all, we look at the resale first. So when we look at the resale at time before TOP and versus something that is brand new, so this is one of my slides why I like to recommend new launches to my clients. So when we look at the resale at time, over this 2 years period of construction, okay, the rental year is 2,500. Of course, you time 12 and time over a period of 2 years, you will earn 60,000. On the other hand, for a new launch property, since you don't earn any rental profit, you don't earn a single cent at all because it's still under construction. secondly, we look at the capital appreciation. Of course, from my previous slide, you can see that for the orange color where it is a resale property, it doesn't have any growth at all. And I would expect it not to grow for the next 5 years. So if that's the case, I will still set safely a capital appreciation of $0. Okay. If you include in the property tax and the maintenance fee, total profit over a period of 2 years, you will earn 50,000 profit. Now let's look at the new launch area. Now the new launch, if you look at my previous slide again, it has actually earned 100 PSF gain. So in total, if you look even on my previous slide, I was actually stating that you earn like 20,000 per year. So 20,000 per year. If we look at this capital appreciation, right, we'll be looking at 100,000 capital appreciation upon TOP, and next we'll look at, and you minus off the maintenance fee, which you don't have any maintenance fee, and you don't have any property tax. Therefore, your overall profit you'll earn roughly is around 100,000. Now let's look at potential profit over a period of 5 years, where we have 2 years of construction and 3 years of the rental. So we look at the resale first, where the rental profit over a period of 5 years is 150,000. Capital appreciation is 0. Therefore, next we look at your property tax and you look at maintenance fee. Minus off all this, your total profit is 125,000. And which will give you a 2.5% return of investment. Now, I feel that 2.5 return of investment is something actually pretty low. I would prefer, if you are looking at property, to get somewhere that is more than 3%. Okay, and if we look at the new launch, right, of course, as I said, 2 years we have the construction phase and 3 years we have your rental before these clients start to sell. So therefore, the new launch will be 90,000 from the rental, 100,000 from the capital appreciation. And then after you minus off your property tax and maintenance fee that is only started after TOP, that is a period of 3 years, your total profit will be 175,000, which is 50,000 still more than your total profit. So therefore, your return of per year is actually 3.5%, which I think it seems more sensible. That's why I would prefer to recommend this property to my client. So let's look at summary for us today. So for our summary, right, I would like to share is that yes, in order to have your maximum gain, right, you have, especially for the capital appreciation, you should be looking for something that's fundamentally strong property. And what is a fundamentally strong property? I will add in the link in the description below, where you can actually read it and what the types of property that I actually recommend to my client. Okay, you should be also looking at a property that has a very high rental demand. So what type of properties has a very high rental demand? Normally is actually located in the core central region or the city fringes, or you may, if it's the outskirts, you should look at something that's near MRT station. And you should also be looking at the rental where below a 3,000 rental is actually something that is very, very easily to rent out. I've actually rented out properties that is below 3,000 within a day. One day I have 14 people come and see, and then I just rented it out without any hassle. Of course, you also need to choose a property that is something that's easy to exit. Which, what I mean by easy to exit means after a 5 years period, where 2 years under construction and 3 years renting, you want to sell it immediately. You should be able to sell it fast. Okay, and how we talk about easy to exit is that you should always put it across that after a period of 5 years, like for example, a 1 million property, the gain over a period of 5 years is 1.1 million. So you should ask yourself is that will people buy a 1.1 million property in this location, and can a client afford this 1.1 million property? So that is something you have to do. And of course, I will always say that use my plus system to always evaluate whether is this a good property or not. So if you are interested in my property cards that I talk about my plus system, please feel free to contact me, and I will actually can send out these property cards to you to understand what my plus system is. I will actually add in this link in the description below. So if you're interested, just feel free to go down to the link, and you can actually fill in your details, and you can say that I'm interested, whether you want to be in this in our special WhatsApp group or to understand our plus system, and I will just send it to you. So if you like this video, just feel free to smash the like button. Please do subscribe for future videos, and if you have any comment to share or anything that you do not understand, just feel free to write in the comment section below, and I'll respond to you ASAP. Thank you, so long and bye.